Hi everybody, it's Tom from FindTheBestCarPrice.com. I have an interesting question for you. We know that we're about to get our first in-person glimpse in the very near future of the 2023 Honda HR-V for the US market. But a lot of people have said they don't want a larger HR-V. In fact, I'll give you a quote from one of the comments. If the HR-V is going to be larger, what is the point of the CR-V? And while we don't believe that the HR-V is going to be that much larger than what it is now the time to buy a 2022 Honda HR-V. It most likely is if it's something you're looking for, as far as it continuing to be what it is for the 2022 model year before, well, the only models available will be used models, and not that that's a bad option. But if you want a brand new HR-V for the 2022 model year, you might want to act quickly. We know that there are a couple available on our local dealership lot here in Northwest Louisiana. So let's talk a little bit about the 2022 model. It has an MSRP range of $21,870 up to $28,170. And trim levels are LX, Sport, EX, and EXL, and all models are available with front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. And how about the pros and the cons of this model? For 2022 and previous years, obviously, relatively roomy seating, versatile for carrying cargo, and above average fuel economy. That is a winner right there. And excellent outward visibility. And obviously, there are going to be some cons. In fact, the first one ties into one of those pros I just mentioned. Having the great gas mileage also comes at the price of lackluster acceleration based on not having the most horsepower around. And the 1.8-liter four-cylinder engine under the hood is known to be a little bit noisy and cause some vibration. The touchscreen interface can be a little bit difficult to use, and it doesn't offer as many of the latest technical features as its rivals. Speaking of that 1.8-liter four-cylinder that is under the hood, let's talk a little bit about exactly what you will find there as far as specs go. 141 horsepower and 127 pounds-feet of torque. And I know this will make some people cringe, but it is mated to a CVT, or continuously variable single-speed transmission. Not necessarily the worst behaving that I've experienced during a test drive, and most certainly not the best. And what about those MPGs? 28 city and 34 highway. Now, one of the big concerns is that people are saying, well, we really don't want a larger HR-V. So what are the current numbers as far as cargo capacity goes? They range from a starting point of 23.2 cubic feet and go up a few other numbers beyond that, up to 24.3 cubic feet. And then when you start to maximize, depending on how you set things up, it ranges between 55.9 up to 58.8 cubic feet with the seat area. And overall, well, it's a pretty nice vehicle to drive. It may not be the smoothest riding in its class, but it's definitely not the worst either. I have found that even here in Northwest Louisiana, where the roads are anything but smooth, that the ride quality is probably about a 7 or so, maybe a 7.5 to 8. But that is also because we're driving on some pretty rotten roads up here in Northwest Louisiana. So it just depends on where you live. Some people might say, I think the HR-V rides great. And the infotainment screen, well, while it's said to be a little bit challenging to learn, and in some ways it is, once you get used to it, I find that it's not that bad. And there's a lot of options here as far as different things you can do. You have a little bit of storage. That is one thing that I do hope changes for the 2023 model year, is a larger center console. And even though this is obviously not a large SUV, it still needs a little bit of additional interior storage options, especially where that center console is concerned. And you do have a couple of different options for cup holders as far as sizes that you can have. So based on that, the 2022 HR-V is still something that a lot of people are wanting to buy in its current configuration. What are your plans? Are you going to wait for the 2023 model to come out, or are you going to go ahead and buy a 2022 model? Tell me what your decision-making process is based on. What is it you're looking for? And if you plan to buy the 2023 model, what do you hope is there? Because Honda has been pretty quiet about a lot of the details so far. We'll make sure to share those with you as soon as they become available. But until then, we look forward to reading your comments on the 2022 model. To learn more about the model in today's video, visit the link in the description for a detailed comparison between trims and pricing for the vehicle we featured or any vehicle you may be interested in. These pages feature information such as our recommended trim level based on price, value, and features. Thank you for taking the time to watch today's video. We look forward to seeing you next time.